Hi there, I'm so excited that you're here. Today I'm creating my very first art journal page. I've never done this before, but I have the cutest little journal that I'm going to be working in, trying out a bunch of different techniques and learning things. I can't wait to share what worked and what didn't, and what I do differently. So let's get inky and create our first mixed media art journal page. I'm working in a 4x6 watercolor journal. I just thought this would be the perfect size. It's very similar to the size of a card, so I'm just kind of dipping my toes into the water with this size. And I'm just going to start on page number 1. We're just jumping in and starting right there. I am going to plan on this to be just like a learning process for me to play and have fun. I'm not giving this to anyone. This is just for me, so I don't have to worry if it's not perfect. It's just for me to be creative and to have fun. At the top of my journal, I did place a clear piece of acetate. It's just some packaging that I had, and I clipped that on with my little butterfly clip. And then I have a laminated piece of cardstock underneath my first page. I'm just trying to keep the bleeding down to a minimum. If it happens, it happens, but this is going to kind of keep my area and those pages underneath as clean as possible. So I wet that first page with water. I'm going to create like a watercolor background, so I'm using spray ink. This is Crushed Grape by Delusions. It may be hard to find, so I would just use any purple spray ink that you love. Whatever colors that you love, go for it. This one is Prize Ribbon from Distress. It's just in a different bottle, and I'm spraying both on. I just love the way that purple and blue work together. Just going to grab a towel and clean up my area around it because it does create a lot of water spray. So I'll be cleaning up my area and my little laminated piece lots through this process. I grabbed a heat tool, and I'm just going to make sure this is nice and dry before I move on to adding some light modeling paste and a stencil. This is a damask stencil I have in my stash. I'm going to use a palette knife and take some of that modeling paste and put it on my glass mat and then apply that through the stencil. That paste can pick up the color from my page, and if I dip my palette knife back into my little jar there, it can contaminate it with purple. So I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to take a little bit more out here and then apply it over my page. I'm using a thin layer, but sort of thick and thin, so it has texture. Light modeling paste is that. It's light. It's going to be kind of see-through but white, and it has this really gritty, cool texture. So I like it if I want a really light effect, or if I know I'm going to be coloring it. Like this is going to get color later, so it's not going to stay white, so I'm okay with it not being a stark white against my background. I would want to use something thicker if I wanted it to stay white. But I really like that so far. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry, and then move on to my stamping portion. This is a stamp set from Unity Stamp Company called Magical Lilacs. That's kind of where my color palette came from. Like lilacs can be kind of purplish and blue. So I'm going to stamp the butterfly, sentiment, and beautiful flowers on some watercolor paper with VersaFine Clair ink. I'm going to spray some more of that spray ink onto my glass mat. Add some water to the purple because I know it's really vibrant, and then I'm just going to ink smoosh away. I'm kind of being delicate and just using the tip of my finger to tap that paper into that ink. You can see it's really, really vibrant, and I want a little bit of variation, so I watered it down. And then just using that tapping motion to kind of color in the butterfly and the flowers. I'm mixing a little bit of blue into that purple for the flowers. And once I'm kind of happy, I think this is a good first layer, so I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to tap on a little bit more color. I just really want that change of vibrancy. And once it's dry, you can kind of tap on some more color that'll sit on top, so you have some dark areas and some light areas. So here I'll tap it into that purple, just using the lightest touch with my finger so I don't get a big splotch of color. Perfect. I'm going to give that another really good dry, doing both the back and the front, just to make sure it's nice and dry. Now I'm going to tear away that flower. I really love a torn edge. I love to see that white contrast of the tear of the paper. I thought it'd be kind of cool to cut out the other side. So I grabbed my scissors and cut around the flower, just kind of haphazardly. It didn't have to be perfect. And when I saw that, I wasn't happy. I wanted to see that, tear of the core of that white watercolor paper. So I grabbed my scissors and I tried to distress it. I roughed it up. That did a little bit, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. I wanted to sort of mimic the other side of that tearing. So I tried to use my scissors to cut into it, but in the end, I just ended up tearing away a little bit of that flower. And that's okay. This is, again, it's just a real free-formed medium. It doesn't have to be perfect, so I really like the torn edge and the mixing of that. For the butterfly, I am just gonna fussy cut that out and not worry about it. I don't mind that it doesn't have a white edge. And then I'm just gonna trim that sentiment down into a strip for now, and then we'll figure out what to do with it later. I don't really have a plan for it yet. So I have my sentiment and then my two little elements, and then I brought back my journal. I'm going to add a little bit of black spray ink to my table. I have a blending brush, and I'm just gonna wrap one of those cheap sandwich bags around the end, and I'm going to use that to tap on some ink in a few areas. Mainly I want to cover where that stenciling is. I want to turn it black basically. So I'm tapping that on, and then I'm going to add some water. That didn't quite move like I hoped it would, so I'm just going to pick up my page and then spray it with some more water. So it kind of runs down and flows through that stenciling, and it'll kind of wick out and color it on its own. So I'm just going to let it sit and do its thing. I'm going to clean up my area here because I don't want to set my journal back down into that wet mess. So it's really handy to have a microfiber towel or some paper towels around. I'm just going to grab my heat tool to speed up the dry time. You can always just let this sit and dry on its own, but I am impatient, so I like to speed it along. I love the little element stamps in this Gentle Hours stamp set from Unity. I grabbed some white pigment ink, and I'm just going to press that stamp right into my background. I don't even put it on a block because it'll kind of move over that stenciling and kind of fill in those areas a little bit better. So I'm using my fingers to kind of press it in. Now, I used white pigment ink thinking that it was going to stay nice and vibrant. It did not. So this layer kind of disappears. Next time I will probably pull out my embossing powder, or I might try white paint to stamp with instead. The pigment ink just kind of disappeared. I'm also just splattering it with some watered down white paint for white splatters, and then giving everything a nice dry again. Now I grab some matte gel medium. This is basically glue. It is like decoupage glue or Mod Podge or just regular glue. Use whatever you have. This stuff adheres like crazy once it sits. It seems like it's not really doing much, but once it like really adheres to the paper, it's not coming off. So it's really stuck on there. So I'm just going to paint that on to the back of my strip there. And then I have a die cut sprig from the Wildflowers Stems #2 dies from Tim Holtz. That's just from black cardstock. And I'm just going to kind of overlay that and put it a little bit behind my lilac strip, and then just kind of tap that down. You do want to make sure that you have enough of that gel medium that it's not sliding around, but give it a good stick and it will eventually adhere and then it won't go anywhere. I'm putting it kind of on top and the bottom for the sprig just because it's kind of delicate, and then I'm just kind of reinforcing those corners that I missed. Back to our sentiment strip, I'm just going to cut down the words into 3 portions. I'm going to grab a black pen and then create a frame around each word. I'm not doing a solid frame, I'm just kind of doing scribbly lines, so each corner has like a good definition, adding some squiggles, just to kind of create a little frame around each word. It doesn't have to be perfect, and in fact, the less perfect it is, the better it looks. So don't think too hard. Just add your scribbles to the top and the bottom and the corner a little bit, add some wiggly lines, and you're good to go. And I'm just going to glue those down haphazardly here. I like how they're at different kind of wonky angles, kind of flows down the page and creates a little bit of movement as your eye kind of flows down that lilac. Gonna add a little bit of glue right behind that butterfly and tuck it in behind the word fly to just kind of finish everything off. And here's a final look at our first ever art journaling page. I love the rich colors, the layers of texture, and that uplifting sentiment right in the center. It's not perfect, but it's really full of heart and creativity. I learned so much just from this one page, and I'm excited to keep exploring and trying more things as I continue on through this journal. Supplies are listed below and at my blog, dollhouse-designs.com. Thanks for creating with me, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye!